Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Apathetic Teenager Podcast, Episode 2, with your...
You got me, back. Dude, that was so stupid.
and me, Radioactive Spike.
Oh, yeah. 343
And you
Green
are?
Spark. 343 Green Spark.
Right.
We have a majority of topics to talk about today,
we have a
correct?
very interesting video today.
Would you like to start us off with the first topic, since you have a lot more knowledge about it than I do?
Alright, first topic, Kerbal Space Program. Number 2, because it just came out. And we're going to be comparing it to number 1.
So, I have seen, like, the ads for 2, and I'm just telling you, it looks, like, flawless. It looks incredible. I think it's really cool. Being able to, like, colonize planets and stuff, which I think I saw in ads, and, like, building rocket ships and stuff. Basically, it's like Spaceflight Simulator, but on a whole nother level. Like, completely, like, just better. Like, really, really good. Like, but I have not seen the first game much. I saw 5 minutes of iBallistic Squid play it, and then I don't remember anything else after that.
If only the ads were anything like the game.
Oh, wait, really? They're not?
So the colonization and all that interstellar stuff is supposed to come out in the next few months.
Okay. So, is that a purchasable DLC or DLC that comes with?
It's all inclusive.
Okay, so, like, you're not going to have to pay extra for colonization or anything.
No,
correct?
no. When you pay the $50 for the beta release, you get the whole game.
Oh, okay.
Which
That
a
sounds
lot of
cool.
people were kind of mad about, but I mean it's going to be the whole game. So.
Yeah. So what are some key differences between both of the games? Like, is there, like, drastic difference, or is it, like, kind of on a more minimal scale?
Performance issues, glitches, which I mean is to be expected, but it's pretty bad.
Are you talking about, like, it's patched from the first game? Like, glitches in the first game are no longer found in the second game?
Glitches in the first game are not only in the second game, but glitches that were originally patched in the original are in this game now.
Very interesting choice by the developers, not to... Pretty much, it's as easy, I guess, as copy and paste to fix.
I think
it
it's a
would be
new
that
company.
Easy. Ooh, that could... Okay.
Let me look it up.
That definitely can matter, because new companies coming in can definitely, change aspects or remove aspects from games that might be a bad sign for the community. You can see this with Halo, not going to go into, like, big detail with it, but you could see how Bungie, after they left, 343 came in, and 343 removed split screen. Yeah, split screen, which was super easy to implement, and there was no reason to take it out, which is sort of similar to this. Why change something when it's already it's already come before you? So why change it when it's already there to make, like, for the worse? Are these glitches like bad? Like, these like game breaking, like they, like, can help the player, or do they, like, kind of hurt experience?
They are definitely negative.
Negative, okay.
Yeah. Also, I just looked it up, and the original game was made by Mexican Developer Squad, and the new one is made by Private Division and Intercept Games, so different people.
Okay, so that is to be expected. You know, maybe they didn't know that these glitches existed in the first game, possibly, but I would guess they've done their research, so it's a little confusing still. On that note.
It is a little bit weird, but I mean,
sure.
it is early access, so we'll see as it goes. Right now, I don't think it's worth $50. I mean, some people have seen glitches where the entire space center, like the launch place and like all the complex and stuff like that, is in orbit with them. Uh,
Yeah, I really don't think that they should have done more tests, more fluent
yeah,
tests. If these leaks are these these glitches are leaking through to the like they shouldn't have released a beta to public. They should have had
right,
hired testers to go through this and thoroughly test the game before launch, which we have seen many times. This has become like a trend now that games are releasing and they do not have the full content that they used to have. Like older games would come out and they'd be pretty much glitchless, maybe here and there, but overall, nothing really game changing. But now we are seeing newer games. They're coming out and having a lot of issues, which the developers are fixing with DLCs and updates. But that can hurt the games. The launch is the most important part of a game, which Kerbal Space Program 2 might have hurt themselves by doing this because people will see how it launched and be like, I don't want to get that game. It's not worth it. So definitely an oopsie on their end.
yeah. I mean, we see something similar. You remember Cyberpunk 2077?
Yes.
Oh, what a train wreck! I think we're only gonna. Yep.
Prime example.
Yeah, I think we're only gonna see this pattern. Hopefully, it decreases, but I feel like it's a problem with games being super advanced now, where it's like almost impossible to see every single glitch without giving it to millions of people.
I feel like that these developers might be getting too excited about the games. This might be the issue. They might be getting too excited about their game and how good it looks, not really doing enough research and testing before releasing it to the public. They just want to get it out as soon as possible because they want to make money. But
Right.
in the long run, it's not going to make you as much money as older games have in the past.
Right. Yeah. But one thing I can say, Private Division, from what I've seen from their YouTube videos, I mean, they were all original players of the original game, like from its beginning. So I think they are an exception to that theory.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to roll into the next topic?
Oh, for sure. Why don't you start us off with this next topic?
Oh, shoot. I don't have the list in front of me.
Ida.
Oh, yes. Hurricane Ida. We live in...
southern region of the United States.
Correct. And, should I go first?
For sure. Yeah, you can go first.
So it came through last... It was... What was it, late 2021?
I think so.
Like August 2021?
Yeah, it was definitely August, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. It put us out of school for 2 weeks, I know that.
I think this was, I don't know about you, but for me, I think this was the biggest hurricane I've ever experienced in my lifetime.
I think so, yeah.
Because I wasn't, I didn't experience Katrina.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me go through mine real quick. My story's not terribly amazing or anything. Let's see, where do I start? We got news that a hurricane was coming, so me, my mom and my sister left before it came to go to my grandmother who was living in eastern region of the United States at the time. And my dad stayed home to protect the fort, essentially, and watch for any, leakage or breaches or anything like that if it got that bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we hung out in Florida. My dad... okay. Florida. That's not terribly... okay. Anyway.
People aren't gonna go.
I don't think they're gonna scour the earth for my grandmother.
I really don't think anyone cares.
Yeah.
Not trying to feel
Yeah.
I mean, unless she bakes really good cookies and they're looking for something.
Some pretty good cookies. Okay. Anyway.
You know. Continue.
Nothing really happened. Apparently, my dad was playing Xbox a lot during the hurricane, so we could get back to that in a second as part of the aftermath. And then he came over to Florida, and we stayed and hung out for the rest of the 1.5 weeks that we had. And then we went home. That was it. But okay, hold on. Me and my dad went home first to, like, do damage assessment and, like, do some repairs early. And then my dog, my sister, and my mom came back after, like 3 days after. For those 3 days, we were fixing fences, we were removing debris. 2 trees had fallen over, one in the front yard, one in the backyard. The one in the backyard had smashed, well, not smashed, it lightly rested upon the porch.
So it gave your porch like a little kiss, like a little.
It gave it a little kiss, but it was very long. It was sitting there. It didn't like fall on it and then fall off. It was on there.
All right.
And then, just doing fence repair. It's not anything too fun. And then
I bet.
Yeah. Lots of screws, lots of wood.
Trust me. I get you.
Yeah. And then my mom and my sister come back, and then everything's all fine. We're kind of all right. My grandfather, who also lives nearby, was not terribly damaged either. Just, fences got absolutely
shingles
destroyed.
Kind of ripped off and stuff. Like shingles ripped off and stuff.
No, not really.
Actually, no. Oh.
We did have some shingles fall into the pool.
No.
As well as a mountain of leaves. So that was
I feel like shingles are like the number one thing that the number one damage that most people receive during hurricanes.
Yeah, those poor shingles, they get ripped apart. Okay. Anyway, I have one last thing to say. What we didn't know is that during Hurricane Ida, my dad was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox. And he said the power had kind of dimmed out and came back, which leads us to believe that it was a power surge, right? And he brought the Xbox to Florida, and then we brought it back. So I don't think handling it, moving it state to state, I don't think that was a big deal. But when we got back, a couple months later, we started noticing some issues with the Xbox. It's not running like it used to. And then one day, I'm trying to load up Subnautica Below Zero, one of my favorite games, and it just isn't loading. I'm like, what's going on? The next day, everything's kind of fine. The next day, weird things are happening. Things aren't loading. The controllers are, disconnecting. It's very odd. And then the next day, the system puts out a black screen. This poor thing. The motherboard had been fried.
No.
Yes. And yep, had to put it to rest. And we ended up getting the new Xbox, the Series X, which runs very nice. Okay.
Well, I guess lucky you. Okay.
Okay.
In the end, everything went swimmingly.
Everything went swimmingly. Mountain of leaves in the pool. A knocked over fence in the back, knocked over fence in the front. 2 big trees falling over.
You're not the worst that happened.
No, it really wasn't the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. Some other stuff happened to some other people, They rest their homes. Kind of sucks.
Yep. All
right. I'm going to move on to my story. It's a bit more detailed. A lot went on in this. Well, let me get into it.
Okay.
So, it's the day before the hurricane is scheduled to hit. Our family, we are planning on hunkering down. And, we're we're gonna hunker down. We're gonna take this storm. Shouldn't be too hard, you know. Well, 4 in the morning, the news station says that it has reached a category 4. Now, in the past, we've only really gotten hit with category 3 at most.
Right.
Nothing really worse. So we were wondering, and we have a couple trees around our house, so like we weren't sure what to do. So like I have a grand oak next to my house which could topple. So we're a little worried. And now we decided that 4 in the morning, it was a decision, like right away. We're gonna leave. Now, we had no plan. Absolutely zero plan. My parents woke me up and said, "Hey, bud, you got 1 hour.
We are
Get
going."
packed." That is probably one of the most scary things that you can ever hear.
I bet.
Like waking up really early in the morning. You think everything's gonna be fine. Going to sleep that night, I thought everything was gonna be chill. They say,
We're gonna be all right.
"Get going," which in my mind was racing. I was like, "Dang, will my house get like completely knocked?" I was like pretty worried. I was worried for my dog because my dog, she gets so anxious and stuff. So like,
Yeah.
is something gonna happen? Like, is she gonna like freak out? So, it was already getting bad. Like pre-storm, it was getting bad. Wind was like going crazy, and so I actually remember this. Like the one part I remember is we run to the car. It's like pouring. Like it's getting pretty bad, and we throw all our stuff in the back. And my mom's like, "You got to go get You have to go get the picture of my grandma." And so my dad runs inside, gets it, and so I remember that really
Because at the
vividly.
time we weren't sure how bad it was going to be.
Oh, for sure. Like those pictures and stuff, like those could have been gone.
Yeah, the
Like-
projections were looking much worse than it ended up being.
Yeah, for sure. And so I remember my parents, like literally in the car, saying, "Where are we gonna go?" Like that's pretty scary. Depending, like, okay, we don't have a game plan. It's like 5 in the morning at this point, and we don't know where to go. We don't know. So my dad's work buddy offered us a stay, really, really up north. Okay, like really, really up north, where probably it wasn't gonna hit.
Right.
We were determining that is too far of a drive. If we made that decision, we'd have to go like the day before, and so they're messaging friends and stuff. And my cousin, my aunt, she says, "Y'all guys can stay here." Now, at the time, I was like, "This is about to be doomsday. Like, is this the end of the world?" Like, I was freaking out. It turned out differently. It was the complete opposite. So, we're on the road. We get there. Little cousin comes running out like nothing is happening and is like joyous. He's like, "Yo, bro, what's up?" And yeah, and I'm like a little like kind of shook. And we get there, and I immediately all the fear kind of goes away because there's a thing where like being around like a lot of people during a disaster makes me feel more calm. Like being around
Right.
because I think it's like you have more people to relate to. You know, like if something happens.
You're
so
not
I felt
alone.
more. So like you have more people to relate to. You know, you feel better. So we're there, and I remember we actually have videos that was recorded on my brother's school Chromebook, and it's basically of them just talking about the storm. You
Like
can
a
see in the
vlog.
background. Yes. And it's pretty crazy. So, the lights are like flickering and stuff. For some reason, I had my school Chromebook, and we didn't have internet. Like the internet was like kind of like knocked out.
Yeah.
So, but for some reason like one like online game worked. For some reason, don't really know how that worked. Nothing else worked, but only one that I knew of. And yeah, I remember I was just playing it, playing on my phone, and stuff, and it really isn't that bad because we're like kind of they're like way up, not way, but like a lot more north than us. So the storm, when hitting, had more time to kind of like subside and cool down, basically. And so, but that time when it actually hit us, it wasn't that bad. And so lights, of course, go out. Go figure. Go figure. And we're just kind of sitting there, chilling, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The first day. Now,
all right.
we were thinking, yeah, we're just gonna be here for like 2 days. We were really wrong. We were there for a week, and
a week.
The things that happened were actually, it turned out to be one of the most fun times of my life. Like, that was so fun. Like spending time at your cousin's house for like a week. It's crazy.
Kinda
so like
awesome.
We're in like I think I slept in like 3 different beds there. Like first I slept in his, so he had a bunk bed. I slept in his bunk bed. Then I pulled out an air mattress in the living room, and then my cousin, which is an adult, she went back to college. She drove back after like everything calmed down, and she drove back, and so I got her bed, and then my mom wanted her bed, so my mom got her bed, and then I slept on one of those like kind of it was an air mattress pretty much. Yeah, it was an air mattress. So that was my sleeping situation. Now aside from that, pretty much chill. One crazy thing that I would never thought I would do is finish the entire Call of Duty Ghosts campaign on a Wii U. I never thought I'd do that. But I remember waking up one morning and my cousin was playing it. He wiped my save file.
Oh, I remember this, yep.
Yes, I was like 3 missions before completing the game. And we're back to like mission 2. And I was pretty mad, but then I realized, oh wait, there's a mission selector. So I just went back to mission. It's
clutch.
Yeah. And I also remember during the hurricane playing in the ditch in the rain. During the hurricane.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty
Definitely crazy. Super clean.
But yeah, we made sure to take showers.
Of course.
Made sure to take showers. But like, kind of, you know, you cannot. Some viewers might relate to this. No matter how much of friends with the cousin you are, you can't stay there forever. Things start going downhill. Vibes drop. Now, it didn't like drop drastically, but you could tell there was a bit of like a
animosity forming.
Yes, like from the first day. So you seem to have a lot more arguments than the first day. You like, you know, but it wasn't the worst thing that happened. You know, it wasn't the worst that I've seen. With other cousins, it has been worse. Definitely this cousin in general, for some reason, I do not know how to explain this, but I think he is the second best house that I've ever slept over at.
Really?
I don't know why. Yes, the vibe there is immaculate. It's incredible. It's just great, yes. It's only coming short, though, to my grandmother's old house. Had to sell that, but we'll get into that in another time. But, like, I remember it got to the point where, like, I was, like, and, like, my other cousin, I have so many cousins, okay? My other cousins, they went to Houston, and they needed a place to stay before until they got their electricity back. And they came and stayed. So we had, like, tons of people in this house. But it's a pretty big house, so we could fit everyone. And so I turned out, I remember we were playing school and stuff. So, like, I'd be the teacher teaching these kids out pre-algebra. They were in, like, kindergarten. Yeah, pretty crazy. And I remember having a swim school, and my cousin refused to jump in the deep end. So
you pushed him in.
No. I refused to give him a novice swimmer role if he didn't jump in. And he complained to me. He was like, but I am a novice swimmer. And I was like, okay, then jump in the deep end. And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, then you're not a novice swimmer. and had this big old feud. But that was like the day before, like the next morning we left.
Like the tensions were the most built up.
I mean, yeah, but like I felt like it was it improved a bit. Like it was like kind of like a stock. It was like up, down, and stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
But this isn't the end of the story of cousins. Even after we leave, we get home. Power's back because we have a Ring doorbell, so we were able to tell if the power comes back, if the doorbell turns on. And so we get home. Well, it turns out that my other cousins from my mom's side, their power was out, so they needed a place to stay, and my grandmother's power was out. She also needed a place to stay. Now, of course, the men stayed back.
A full house.
My grandmother came over, and my two cousins came over, and my aunt and uncle stayed. And so I remember we were sleeping. And my cousin fell asleep in my bed, like horizontally. So bro took up the entire bed. This was my first all-nighter, and I couldn't go to sleep. So I go to my brother's bed because he had a bunk bed from previously when I used to sleep in his room, of course. And I tried sleeping in there. Yeah, no, couldn't do it. I just couldn't. So stayed up till 6 a.m. and then finally fell asleep. Counted that as an all-nighter because technically it's the morning.
Right. In FNAF terms, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count?
No, because you went to 6 a.m.
So it would count as an all-nighter, right?
Well, you survived the game.
Oh, yeah.
But,
okay. Yeah.
You know what? What? Actually, I'm wrong. You know what? In FNAF terms, you did pull an all-nighter.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
you pulled a full night shift.
Yo. So, yeah. And I remember some interesting stuff happened there. Not going to go into detail on this for reasons. Yeah. Okay. So,
we can talk about that after the show.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much that's all that happened. Turns out, my fence must have no-clipped into the back rooms, because literally, my entire back fence was gone. Like, you didn't even see any debris. It was, like, gone. It wasn't in the other yard. It wasn't on the other street. It was gone. Like, nowhere. We were super confused. Yeah, it was just gone. We couldn't find it. Like, it was the craziest thing.
And this was the fence?
Yes, the back fence. So.
Just gone.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. So that's pretty much Ida. It was a pretty fun time. Just the vibe was just on point. Just on point. So.
Yeah, that was a much better story than mine. Okay, let's talk about another hurricane. I have a short story. But let me see if while digging through this, I can remember anything else, because there's got to be more to this. Okay. So this is Hurricane Zeta. This one came through. I don't remember. Do you?
It was like pre-2020.
Yeah, a good while ago. So I remember the power going out for 3 days, 2.5, 3 days, and not having any internet, not being able to use the phone. It's kind of just like, like boring, I guess.
Yeah.
Riding out to get gas for the generator. The generator's on. It's super loud, so you can't really go have fun outside because everyone's generator is on, which is kind of cool. You could, go outside at night, and you can just hear everyone's generator.
Yeah, dude, at night, the streets look like something out of a horror movie. All the street lights just out. Oh, bro. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. And I remember, staring at candles for an extended period of time.
Yes. Yes, I would do that too. Just staring at candles.
I want to touch it.
Yes. I was debating on whether I should like lick my fingers and then like try and put it out with my fingers, but I was too much of a wuss to attempt that.
What about you?
So power went out. I actually made a video. This could be named as like the lost footage. If it's ever found, it's technically a real found footage, you know. Started recording and pretty basic, yeah. Power went out. Nights were dark. Nights without power, like your entire street not having power, can be kind of creepy. Like just
kind of
like
spooky.
Just having like your flashlight charger, like your flashlight, kind of like looks like you're in a horror game. But like my grandpa had power, so we would occasionally go over there, charge all our stuff, charge like batteries and stuff, then run back over because we didn't have a generator.
1 second.
We didn't have it. Yeah.
So one of the scariest things is when your fire and burglar alarm tells you that it is not operational.
Oh, I don't have one. Is it scary?
It's like, it's a sense of security that you immediately lose, and it's constantly beeping at you, and you're just like, oh gosh, if they come in right now, it won't automatically call the cops for us.
Yeah, like
What I guess is a
feeling,
luxury, but yeah.
It's that feeling like, am I being watched?
It's like that apocalypse, Raiders kind of feeling.
Yes. Like, and then, like, in the morning, it's like you, like, actually value sunlight. Like, you value it. And it's not like, oh, lights, the sun goes down, turn on all the lights. No, you value the sunlight. So I remember me and my brother, we'd put my dad's reflective vest on that he had for work and his hard hats that he had for work. And we'd go on our bikes, and we'd be like the electricity patrol and go and look and for like power trucks and then report back to our parents. And it was the coolest thing because we had like walkie-talkies and we'd go down other streets and like be like walkie-talking each other like, electricity truck found, electricity truck
we spotted one
on so and so street and stuff. So like and then we would report back to our parents and stuff. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty fun. But pretty much you're just sitting there rewatching the episodes on Netflix that you have pre-saved.
I didn't have any.
Over again. I did. I had 2 episodes of Avatar saved.
Oh,
The Last Airbender.
which ones?
I think it was. I'm not really sure. It was the one where they were like hiding from the Fire Nation.
Okay.
Like it was after their like attempt at big battle, and I think it was the last episode too. Maybe, not sure though.
Okay.
But yeah, it was on my mom's iPad. Remember watching that. I remember going to a Halloween party because this was like around Halloween time, and yeah, we went and they had power, and we went and we knew absolutely no one there. We were invited because they were wrestling friends, and yeah, we knew no one there. So literally, me, my brother, and my parents just sat there and talked to each other. Like we were just sitting and talking to each other about like my dad's ski trips or whatever, or something like that. So, some core memories, pretty cool. Not as fun as Ida, of course. Would never thought I would call it hurricane fun.
Not as fun as the Category 3.
But, yeah, still some memories to cherish.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, here we come to the point where we don't have a topic. We don't have a topic.
I can pull one up right now, if you're fine with me talking.
I'm going to leave all the silent pauses in.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. All right. So, since we were talking about sleepovers a lot this episode, I got one for you.
All right.
So, you can obviously tell that some cousins are more easily to have, like, you can tell that the downfall, what we were talking about, how, like, you can't stay forever, there's a little dip, right?
Yes.
some cousins have a quicker dip than others. I remember like before Ida, before. It was like the summer before. This was a Cousin Adventures 2.
Ooh, Cousin
Some people
Adventures.
who know me will know about that, but now off camera they had like it started getting bad. Like it looked really like joyous. And then it started to spiral. So I remember to start off, we're driving home from my brother's baseball game. You know, it's kind of cloudy, raining a bit, drizzling. And my grandpa brings up how in the song Stairway to Heaven, if you play it backwards, it says really demonic.
Yeah, that's an old wives' tale from a long time ago.
Yeah, so he was telling me about that. And we watched it, and then, like, got super scared. Oh
no.
We were, like, planning on going and swimming at night, but it was, like, raining and stuff, so, like, I don't know what we were thinking.
Swimming to the backwards stairway to heaven.
And then we start talking about, like, sleep paralysis demons, and my cousin starts crying. He starts crying. He gets scared. Yeah. Because it's, like, raining outside. And I legitimately thought that I was thinking that this was like a punishment from God or something, because like it was like perfect timing, like right after we watched the video, all the phones go off, a tornado warning. Like,
yes.
I was like, oh my God, no way.
Punishment from God from listening to the backwards stairways to heaven.
I thought I thought that's what it was. And so we go and we're hiding in the bathtub and stuff, and I just remember just sitting there and we're like shaking, all of us. And I actually remember when I was going to the bathtub, I remember running in the I remember running into the sunroom, which, mind you, has a lot of windows, you know.
Lots of windows.
Not the best place to be during a tornado
Lots of windows
warning.
for the devil to catch you through.
And so I remember running through because I wanted to get my Switch. If anything happened, I don't want my Switch to get destroyed. So I go and grab it, and I remember looking out the window, and a gigantic branch just like whacks the window. I'm like, oh! And I just run. I sprint back to the bathroom. And we're just sitting in there, and we're just sitting there, and we're like, oh my god. And then my grandma puts on her iPad some biblical animation video.
That's so awesome.
Or like it was like a movie about like the Israelites and stuff, and
that's
how they got
so
like
cool.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. And then it calmed down, and then we were like, yippee. Now it had a pretty good vibe. You know, most of the time. On camera, you can see it looks like pretty fun. But the last day was the worst.
You
could easily tell, like, mostly you're like, most sleepovers, you're like, no, I don't want to leave, no. This one, I was like, I want to leave. I want to get out of here. And I remember the day we went swimming, and we came back, and we got into a fight, and I don't know how to phrase this without using my last name. He was like, oh my god, insert last name here, they're always getting on my nerves. And that
Excuse me?
I was like, no way you just disrespected my last name like that.
No way you just disrespected my house.
I was like, nah, he did not go there. And my grandma stepped in before, like, I was about to, like, absolutely, like, maul this kid in the face.
She's gonna show him a Bible video.
And, yeah, pretty much. And then we wanted to leave, and, like, we didn't talk for, like, the rest of the time until our parents got here, and then we dipped. So.
Yeah?
Yeah, pretty crazy. Now it's kind of to the point, I think out of all my cousins, we are the farthest from each other. Like, it's pretty bad. Like, yeah. we don't like each other, really. Which kind of sucks. Which kind of sucks because we used to be really close and stuff. Like, we used to like hang out so much. And it's just like the separation.
Yeah.
It's gone. All those times, they're all gone because change. He's like starting to hit puberty and stuff. Like he's more invested in his phone. Doesn't really care. But last sleepover we had, he wanted to come over. We were like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, come over. I came back home from practice, and he pushed my keyboard and mouse aside, plopped his laptop on there, and was talking to a bunch of strangers on the internet. And that just hit me. Dude, you're coming to my house and just talking to a bunch of strangers on Discord? Like, serious?
Yeah.
So, kind of ticked me off. Never want to have a sleepover with him again. Don't want to talk to him ever again. Don't know how I'm going to sort this out, but yeah, he's just not the same anymore, and that's how I feel. So,
yeah,
that's all I got to say for that.
I can only remember one really big cousin sleepover, which lasted about 3 days.
Ooh. Yeah, I always like those long sleepovers.
Uh-huh. So it was me, my sister, and my 2 cousins that live semi-nearby. I have cousins that live far away, but it's not those. It's the close ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at my grandma's house. Grandma's house has an absolutely immaculate vibe.
Yeah, same with like my grandma's old house. Immaculate vibe. I get you.
And
Definitely.
I remember we were only supposed to stay like one night, and then we got to spend the next night, and then we got to spend the next night, and it was awesome.
Actually, that is what happened for what I just said. Like, that's actually what happened. Yeah. I had the exact same thing.
So every morning, well, not every morning, the first morning, well, let me talk about the first night. We were trying to go to bed in the same room. So there was the 2 littles on the air mattress, me and my cousin on the air mattress, and then there was the 2 bigs in the big bed. And one of them just could not stop making us laugh. He was saying, pizzazz.
Dude, that always happens at every sleepover, man.
And
I don't know.
We got yelled at by my grandma, yeah.
Yes, my grandma would always come in and, like, threaten to spank us.
Go to sleep.
She once put us, like, me and my brother, she put us on the couch and left my cousin just in the room by himself. Because he was, like, the cause. He just would not shut up. So, yeah.
So, anyway, that was a pretty funny night. And then that morning, we woke up. And this is pretty common at Grandpa and Grandma's house. You wake up, and Grandpa drives out, and he comes back, and he's got frickin' donuts, baby.
Oh.
Donuts in the morning.
Sweet.
And those donuts lasted for the next 2 days, because obviously you're not going to go buy a second one for the next day.
Yeah, for sure.
And, yeah, I remember having a lot of fun hanging out. We had a playroom. Playroom was awesome. We had one of those giant mats on the floor where you could put Hot Wheels.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Friggin' awesome.
Oh, wait, was it like the mat of, like, the city? Kind
Yes.
And it had, like, the street. Yes, we had that, too. We had that, too.
I feel like they're all different, but they're all the same. It's just in the same way.
For sure, yeah. They were in, like, the playroom area, which was the sunroom. Had, like, an NES,
We had
SNES.
Ours was in the sunroom.
Yes, it was like a sunroom, And, like, ours had, like, an SNES and a little tiny TV from, like, the 80s or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I remember our breakfast situation was you wake up, you see the sun in the sunroom, and you're just like, oh.
Good morning.
Like, yes, literally like, morning. It's like that good feeling when you see the sun in the morning. Like, it's just that good feeling. And then, like, you're kind of sitting there talking with your cousins, and, like, you're just talking. And, like, this was before phones. Like, before we had phones. We would talk. We would socially interact with each other. Whoa. And then my grandma would call us. Hey, what do y'all guys want for breakfast? We have the 2 best options. Oatmeal or waffles.
Oh.
Now you might think, like, hey, ain't that special? But, like, they're pretty lit. She got the strawberry oatmeal, and she cut bananas into it. Oh. And then And then you got the normal Eggo waffles, but there's a twist. See, my grandpa had he was a beekeeper, so we had honey, fresh honey, and we smothered that Eggo waffle in fresh honey. And dude, for some reason, every time, like, it's super nostalgic whenever I put honey on waffles. And it's just like that feeling, like I feel like I'm back to those times, and like, it just hits me. And she also had like this orange sherbet, like, ice cream, kind of like this orange ice cream. I don't know if it was a sherbet. But like, dude, that was good. And she was always stacked on popsicles, so you'd probably eat like
the Freezy Pops.
Yes. Oh my God. She would go to Sam's and get the Italian ices, and so like, it was like weird because like it was like an infinite source.
Editor, please put on the screen a picture of a Freezy Pop, because I know people call it different names.
Yes. Yes, and like we'd go through like 20 a day, and I remember my grandpa finding. So apparently my cousin, he pleads not guilty, but he was totally guilty for it. It was all him. I know it because I saw him. You'd cut the tip off, right? And you like the little bit in the tip, you would like kind of like suck it out. And those little tips, he'd just throw them in the scissor drawer. And so my grandpa's going, and like when they're moving, he's cleaning out the scissor drawer, and there's just tons of like tops to the Freezy Pops.
Oh my gosh.
Just in there, and he's like, "Who did this?" And everyone pleaded not guilty, but I know it was him. I know it was him. It was all his fault.
I know it was you.
And also, if you're watching this, you know who you are. Yeah.
You did it.
You did it. We know.
I remember we would make, after phones, not at this sleepover, but at the next. That sleepover, by the way, was just a lot of just hanging out. Also, we watched the Angry Birds movie, I think.
Ooh.
That was kind of awesome. Wait, no, hold on. I'm getting all my times mixed up. The Angry Bird movie is on the next one. The next one, we had phones. So this was a couple years after, obviously. And we would make iMovies, and I still have them.
Okay.
Like little iMovie trailers for like products and stuff.
Yeah. Now, with your phones, were your cousins like attach them, or could they like put the phone down?
Well,
and, like,
we had the iPods, so like the really small ones.
So it was
so
like
nobody was really on it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my cousin. He would fall asleep so fast. It was like insane. Like, you throw ASMR on it for him, out like a light. My brother gets the literally first scene of Endgame of Thanos picking a fruit off of the like little plant. Bro's out. Like cold. Like, he was like not awake. He was actually asleep. Like, he was not faking it. Like, every movie you put on, we'd like be like, we're about to watch a movie tonight. Dude, the credits didn't, like, the opening, like, intro didn't even finish, and dude was asleep. How is this possible?
That's crazy. Superhuman.
I was also thinking, like, I also remember them forgetting to turn off the TV, and I didn't know where the remote was. Worst feeling at a sleepover, okay? When you can't fall asleep, and the TV's on, and you don't know where the remote is.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst feelings. And, I remember, dude, it was, like, odd commercial. It was like, is this real meat? Yeah, it might be human meat. And I was just like, and my heart started beating, and I was like, whoa, am I gonna get eaten while I'm sleeping? And I'm like,
the stairway to heaven coming back for you.
I was like, dude, what is going on? And then, like, though sometimes the nights would get a little creepy, like, definitely looking down the hallway, it would be like, dude, I think something's down there. I think something's watching me in the shadows.
Liam,
like,
this is your meat. Human meat.
And especially the sunroom, right? They didn't live in like a neighborhood. They kind of did, but behind their house, they had a forest.
Oh.
Now, Yeah,
Little boy was scared of forest.
Literally, the couch was facing the sunroom,
Oh.
in which the sunroom had a giant window, facing towards the forest.
That's where the goat man comes out.
So I open my eyes and just see a dark forest. What do you think I'm gonna see? All right, what do you think I'm gonna imagine? This was the time I was scared of Siren Head. Okay, like that was the time, you know. Like I was scared of Siren Head.
Some bad timing right there.
Like eat me, you know. So, of course, they had the ups and downs, but mostly ups, mostly positive. So.
Yeah. Childhood fears. Is that a good topic for the last couple minutes?
For sure. Would you like to go first?
It's hard for me to pinpoint. I'd have to give me a moment to think. You want to give a story?
Okay, for sure. I have actually a couple. So, basically.
I know there was one at my house.
Okay. Yes, there was at your house. I remember you showed me the Balloon Boy song, and I thought he was in the vent, and he was gonna come and eat me while I was sleeping. So I was always looking up at that vent. Like, I think for the rest of the night, I was petrified from seeing that video. Like, at the pizza, I think it was Cece's or something.
Yeah, Cece's
I remember
pizza.
It was like dark outside, and like the lights weren't like bright. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this doesn't look real. And like also at Putt Putt, it was like dark, and I was like, I don't think this is real.
It's not
and,
real, man.
I was so weirded out the rest of the night. I don't know, it felt off.
Really?
And
you like
yes.
it was like the Nightmare Balloon Boy Ding Dong Here I Come to Find You really haunted you that much?
Yeah, but then literally I woke up the next morning and like forgot about it. Like I was just like perfectly fine after that. Now, definitely like I have a lot of like sleeping over things. Like once I was at Buddy's house, you probably know him. Starts with the same letter as your name.
Okay.
Quiet fella now, you know.
Yep.
And we played Friv before, and like we were
Friv.
on his computer, and we were playing the different games. And I mean, I remember first we were playing the Love Matcher, and we were matching each other up with girls.
Yes,
class,
the Love Matcher game.
And we were like, are we swag? Are we good? Should we shoot a shot? Yeah, never. No, we weren't. We talked about a lot of that in the last episode. He can put a little card up in the top.
Oh yes, hold on. Let me write this down. 5445. Put a card in.
On previous episode, you can go watch that.
Uh-huh.
And I remember we watched Doctor Strange, and I remember us being okay. Now this like didn't creep me out, but I remember watching Doctor Strange in the part where he's like flying through and like his hands are growing off his fingers and stuff. We were like, it would be incredible to pair that up with the song that goes like do 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 do.
Yeah.
Do, do. It was like the big old trend, like people flying through
Yeah.
rainbow portals and stuff. It was like a trend. We were like, dude, that'd be epic. And then we found it, and we were like, ah! And so the fear comes in is we were playing a Friv game, and basically you're a little guy, and you're a scientist, and you have to discover what happened at this nuclear power plant.
Yep.
And you're going through, and when you get to the end, you find this guy who's wedged in between this stuff, like this kind of stuff, and he's like, help me, please, free me. And then he frees him, and the guy gets up, and he's like flying around, and he goes and eats you. And at the end screen, it shows and because like he said he was eating flies and stuff, like radioactive flies, and he gained like the powers and stuff. And so at the end they had a little bug, like the little fly, and it had the little like nuclear symbol in its eyes, and that scared me for the rest of the night. A couple other things. One time, I thought SCP-096 was under my bed. I was like really scared to look under because I thought I was gonna die. But I just kind of was like, all right, I'm just gonna leave him alone. I'm not gonna look under my bed. He might. Yeah,
because if you don't see his face, then he won't come and get you.
I mean, I don't know what I was thinking because I didn't like hear him crying or anything under my bed. So, what the heck?
Correct.
But yeah, I was like scared of like some SCPs at this point. Like I was Like when day breaks, I was scared of that. Like I thought like the sun was actually gonna turn red and like everyone's gonna start melting and stuff.
Oh gosh.
One night though, I actually got like a real scare. Like and this got made, like like when you kind of feel like cold and hot at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like you're cold and like sweat, like cold sweat.
Uh-huh.
Now, my closet was like only like kind of cracked open, right?
Oh.
And I had this little flashlight and I pointed at it. And now I know it was totally an illusion by like my eyes like adjusting from the light to the dark, but it made it look like the door creaked open a bit more. And the entire night I was just sitting there like, oh my god, no, nothing's in there. I know nothing's in there. And I also had like nights where like some nights would be crazy. Like I remember when like I first started getting my own room, didn't really have a bed yet, but I was sleeping on the air mattress in there. Parents didn't make me. I just wanted to because I wanted to sleep in my own room.
I slept on the floor for quite a while.
I watched a video talking about like asteroids, and I went on this big old like binge on like chances of getting hit by an asteroid, and I was like super scared. I thought we were like world extinction was gonna like happen in the next few days. I was terrified. But yeah, looking back at all those fears, kind of stupid.
It kind of seems silly, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty silly.
Yeah.
I was a little scared of the dark. Then all of a sudden one
of
day,
course, that was my main.
One day I just closed my bedroom door, and boom.
It all goes away.
Yeah, I could sleep.
All right.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a comment when we were talking about Friv and the radioactive fly guy game.
Yeah.
Friv is actually where our outro comes from, which should be coming in very soon. I don't know when that'll be, but if we don't have any more topics, then we can pop it in right now. But the outro comes from this game called Icebreakers, which was very nostalgic to me because you could play it inside the arcade, inside a game called Moshi Monsters.
Ooh, okay.
And Moshi Monsters was this, how do I describe it? Furry playground for children.
Interesting.
It was a animal game where you kind of get to be you make your own character and you can walk around and you can buy stuff, but it's all like monster themed, which was very popular back then.
Is it kind of like oh my god, what is it? Why did I forget? It was the Penguin game. Why did I forget? Mega brain fart.
Oh, Club Penguin.
Club Penguin, yes, that was it.
A little bit.
Was it kind of like, it was kind of, okay.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Do you have anything else?
No, did you have any of your fears that you'd like to share?
Any of my fears? It was mainly the dark. I was trying to think, and I was like, I wasn't really... A lot of things... There was one time where there was like a piece of Lego that dropped in my closet, and I like heard it smash against the floor, and I was scared for like 5 minutes, and I was texting my mom and my dad frantically like, please help, someone's in there, they're gonna kill me, please come up.
Dude, I would think that, but I would just like I would actually sprint out of my room. Like I wouldn't walk out my room, I'd sprint. Like I wouldn't text. I would literally, if I felt scared, I'd literally get up and I'd like look around and then I'd just like book it out of my room. I was like, dude, I'm not taking any chances. I'm booking it out of here.
I'm out of here.
I was mostly paranoid of what would be in the dark. I was always thinking that they had some creature that was hiding in the dark. Like, yes, watching me. I was always scared because I saw this video. It was like Reddit post on, like, it was like weird, creepy Reddit posts. And it was like something like, it's watching me, but I pretend to sleep so it doesn't know that I know it exists. And that paranoid me. I was like, dude, maybe I just gotta do the same thing. I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist and just pretend to go to sleep. If it's there, it's there. But yeah,
that's all we can do.
That kind of scared me. Yeah, definitely like what was in the dark scared me. Like corners of my room, those scared me. But yeah. That's all my fears.
That's about all for today's episode.
Yeah, we got a pretty good amount done, I feel. We talked about a lot of nice topics. And yeah, so
thank you for sticking around this long.
Yes, thank you. If you have.
You are a trooper, a soldier of the. Do we have a fan-based name? The Apathetic Teenagers.
We gotta think about that. We could think of that and make a
like a poll,
community post, like a community or a poll on what people want to be called.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
Just remember, you're good enough, and you can make it. All right.
Also, the things in the dark aren't real.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah. You're fine. Don't worry.
You'll be all right.
That was just us being kids.
There may or may not be the devil from Backward Stairway to Heaven in your vent with Nightmare BB planning to steal you.
I mean, but hey, I'm not confirming they're not real.
I'm just saying.
Unless the thing in my room is watching me currently. You're not real.
Alright, I think that's a good place to end it off.
Yeah. Remember, thanks for checking on. We post every Tuesday. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.